Deltarune Summer Newsletter 2026. These newsletters are always such a joy to read. We always get some good insight, some cool artwork, and we have no idea what we're going to get this time, but I am very excited to see what is in the newsletter. So it's summer. Can summer be over yet? And we have this really fun artwork here as well. As always, the artwork's always really great. Chapter 5 released. And then the beautiful Deltarune with the multicolored aspect. I guess it's more like pink and blues, I guess. Around a month ago, Deltarune Chapter 5 released. A month ago, did you notice? I did notice. I'm pleased with the response to Chapter 5. Many friends told me they loved it, and some people even cried a bit. I did. Everyone's experience may vary, but if the game resonated deeply with a few players, I feel confident I'm moving in the right direction, 110%. You gotta stay true to yourself. Now it's been a bit. I have a lot of info and concept art about Chapter 5 to share, so please click here to check it out. Warning, Chapter 5 spoilers within. Oh no. No, we just played Chapter 5. Here is Chapter 5 thoughts. Gorgeous, man. So pretty. You can't see my cursor right now, but I'm over the... Which, probably should capture the cursor so I can, point at stuff as well. Yeah, 1 second. Much better. Yeah, it's much better for pointing, but yeah, this is gorgeous. And we can zoom in as well. Oh, so cool. Look how pretty this is. Really good artwork as usual, though. Let's talk about Chapter 5. From 2019 was the artwork? Oh, man. Concept and gameplay. Before release, I described Chapter 5 as a fun chapter. Hopefully everyone understands what I meant by that, which is that it is fun. Anyway, there aren't any more chapters where we focus on goofy, attention-hungry Darkner characters with potential to win a weird popularity contest, but thinking about the structure of the story, I think it was a perfect spot to do it one more time. So he's saying that right now, this is probably the last time we're going to get a character like Flowery, where while it is an important character to the story and the emotions of the game, it's also more of a comedic character, and there's not going to be many opportunities to continue to do that going forward, which is interesting, which means things are probably going to get even more serious. Even though it's only been 4 chapters since 1, I wanted Chapter 5 to feel like a mix of nostalgia, fun mixed with new. Nostalgic fun mixed with new, unforeseen concepts. Music from Chapter 1 of Deltarune characters that references concepts from Undertale, etc. As for the new elements, this time we added a platforming system where you can jump around, attack, and act. Development started in October 2021, such a long time ago, with on and off programming by Ondidev, creative games such as Tree Bashers. Eventually, towards the end of the Chapter 4, other members of the team were then able to take Ondi's prototype and develop it further as well. Okay, we have some stuff here too. So this is the prototype. You can kind of see the vision though right away, right? And this already looks like I'd love to do this. It looks fun already. It's a fun side-scrolling platformer, right? Really cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, the vision is there. The vision is there. The vision is there. And it works so well in the actual game itself. I loved it a lot. I loved it a whole hell of a lot. Early platforming example with its own temporary enemies. As usual, we created tons and tons of prototypes. There were a few design challenges with using the platforming system. I feel quite happy about its implementation of the final game, but here are some things we need to be concerned about. I also, can I say as well, not that I'm a game dev, but for me, I think it's actually one of the most inspired things they did. I actually love what they did with the platforming. It was really cool. I loved it. We prototyped platforming ending for each flower color, but not all were used. Okay. Well, we'll read about the one this is going by as well. This is an RPG game with a focus on character interaction. If the game turns completely into an action platform, it carries the risk of making players feel like, why am I playing? Yes, knock off. I totally get that. Instead of feeling like they're playing Deltarune. Some really cool stuff here with this stuff. Because again, you can see the vision of what they were creating here. You can see it right then and there. But I totally get this idea. Because I wasn't ever oh, why are we doing this? Because you remember my playthrough, guys. I was so excited to do this stuff all the time. Because I think it broke up the gameplay quite a bit. But I totally get what he's saying, that if it was all this and not many... Because I think they did lessen the battle. There wasn't as much battle this time around. But I think they did... Actually, if I can say one thing, I don't think it's a critique. I do think they had not as much battles, but the ending battle kind of made sense in the end because of it. Because usually I would like to have a lot of battles because I'd like to be able to practice for the final battle. You know what I mean? That's what we're leading up to in a lot of ways. But this time around, we didn't have a lot of battles, but the final battle is not even, it's kind of not even like a traditional Deltarune battle. It's like a lot of like, kind of like, almost like, it's like a rhythm game almost in some cases. It's much different. So it makes sense why there's less battles, because it's not going to be focused completely on that as well. In order to inject some unique character-based elements, but for me personally, I thought they did a really good job of it, but I can totally understand the fear of like, oh my god, we're just like doing like Hollow Knight or Ninja Gaiden. You know, I can understand the fear. Even though, like, you can borrow from those games 100%, because I got Ninja Gaiden vibes for sure. In order to inject some unique character-based elements to the gameplay, the platforming act system was developed in October 2024. A large amount of acts were considered for each character, but ultimately we found it most intuitive to just have Hanging Ralsei and Rude Buster with Susie, yeah. And that's what worked in the end. Sometimes simple is better, right? Another important Deltaruneism was adding a lot of stupid optional dialogue for doing different things in the platforming mode, as well as having a couple of RPG encounters accessible during that mode. This kept the mood from drifting too far from the main game. Again, I love that he's thinking about all this stuff as well. Because again, as I said, I thought it was great, but you can understand the fear of anything like that. And it's any type of game, right? Where it's like people will be like, oh, this doesn't feel like Deltarune. But it still felt like Deltarune just with like platforming, you know? Another thing we had to keep in mind was that this could be somebody's first experience playing a platforming game. A terrifying thought, but a possibility. That's very, very interesting he thought of this. Nothing in the game has demanded any platform skills before, so we kept the actual jumping challenges rather simple. On the other hand, it was way too fun to make different challenges, so we tried to include a couple of those in optional areas. I hope you enjoyed them. Yes, there was like more crazier stuff in some areas. And I think like, I always say this about like Pokemon as well. Every Pokemon game is some kid's first Pokemon game. You know? If you're a kid that likes playing Deltarune, and, you know, you never played other games, you played Deltarune, you play maybe like a few games in between there, this might be for your first platforming game. Not just a kid, like you could be 23 years old at this stage and not play platform. You might be like, well, no, platformers are huge. Platformers, like, when we were like babies, right? When I was a baby, when some of you were babies, when, you know, they were huge, they were massive, they were everything, right? But over time, platformers became like the less popular thing unless you were Mario, you know? They're coming back now and coming back in great droves. Like, there was a point when Yooka-Laylee released where, like, it was, like, a big deal. It was like, oh my god, we have, like, a 3D cartoonish platformer back, you know? It wasn't like that before, so it makes sense that, like, you know, someone could be, like, in their 20s, like 21, 22, and have never played a platform. It's actually possible, because the way people play games now, and you know, there's so much genres and so many things to choose from. It is possible. It's so possible. We prototyped very tight puzzles. Where you have to swap between both gameplay styles, but most of them end up a little too clunky and hard to understand. We saw these type of things in the game, though, with this type of puzzle, right? Where you had to, like, jump up on the things, but also move stuff around. Very cool. Yeah, it worked in the game as well. Besides the platforming, another general challenge was writing the chapter that introduces 8 different characters. I think you did an amazing job to the main story without destroying the pacing. I think you did an amazing job. I feel like I managed to pull off this fairly well, yes. Showing off all individual qualities of different flowers without dragging the story down. Among my friends, everyone had a different favorite flower. Every flower is someone's favorite, and that's all I can hope for. I want to believe that green and aqua are the most popular. There's something about them, right, that gives a... But then again, like, blue and yellow's relationship, you know, I think Seth also is relatable to a lot of people, you know what I mean? I think it's like there's so many, like, the flowers all have different qualities, you know, orange is, you know, it's you can't really guess that way, right? You can't. Beautiful artwork here as well, look at this. Love the perspective, you know what I mean? I was always very bad at this. Perspective. GGR from 2020. Character's flowery. Constantly carries a jacket over his shoulders he never wears. Yes, they got that right from the first second. 10 years ago, everyone's misspelling flowy as flowery. And it was driving me crazy, so I thought it wouldn't be funny if there was another golden flower character actually named Flowery. Then everyone can misspell his name as Flowey too. That's so fun to use like something that is like, you know, a misspell as like a character name. The golden flower Gold was able to become his own Mary Sue character in the form of Flowery. He's trying to be perfect, but he doesn't know anything what it's like to really live. His interpretation of the ideal man is totally alien over the top. He looks like a generic anime guy and is far taller than a normal human. It's probably he chose his own theme song and plays himself somehow, which, by the way, is basically a crappy misremembered version of only 8 seconds of full What? And he must think it's awesome. I never watched Full House because of course it was like, that was deep American TV for me. I watched the American TV I watched when I was younger was like King of the Hill, The Simpsons, 30 Rock, all those things. But I didn't get to see Full House because that was like way before my time. You can think of other flower characters in similar fashion. Their designs may be strange, but that's because they had to decide who they wanted to be for themselves. Love that. I wonder what inspired each of their dreams. It's not really important to be honest, but it's fun to think about. That's great, right? The idea of like saying like, it's like, he almost left it up to them, like to find their own path. And that's why they look so different and so strange sometimes, is because they're finding their own style. Hopefully this comes across as information. I'm simply pointing out that what was in the game. Oh, you're saying I hopefully don't spoil? No, it's fine. I think it's really interesting that like everyone's outfit was so wildly different. And again, it makes sense. Like, like flowery, it's not flowery, blue and yellow, right? Perfect examples. Blue is themselves and has found themselves, I believe, while Aqua's still trying to find themselves, By the way, here's some concept art from Toko Yatabe of Studio Kara for the animation. Her early concept art for the animation determined Flowery's final outfit. So do we know Toko Yatabe of Studio Kara? I want to watch it. Oh my god, it's so pretty, man. The fact that we didn't get to see more of this, like they made like the most prettiest Deltarune character in history. Like if this is what we were fighting all the time, I would have failed on purpose. You can win. But I imagine it's gonna be someone I do know from a game I like or something, or from a story I like or something, right? He has different appearances in different situations. I like when characters have inconsistent design like this, especially for a character like him. Maybe inconsistency is his fault. So I'm gonna look up the name, by the way. Let's look up the name. Toko Yatabe. Wait, did they make Evangelion? Did they legit? Did that? I mean, Studio Kara. Did they make the? Were they artists on Evangelion? Wait, Chainsaw Man? They did storyboards for Chainsaw Man? Darling in the Franxx. Wow. I saw like one episode of that. I'm trying to look at if there's anything else I know from this. Mob Psycho? Key animations and storyboard? I love Mob Psycho. Okay. Wonder Egg as well. Very cool stuff. Very good, very good credits. Other flowers. Here's some concept art for the other flowers. How many eyes do humans have again? Oh, the eye thing as well. Final art and hair. We can look through all this here now, actually. Seth, oh, that's really I'm not saying he's relatable because he looks like a bit of a nerdy character, but I think people found him relatable just because of them relatable. Sorry, not him relatable. Because at the end, Seth reveals that they don't know what gender they are. So I don't want to just like label them right away. Green has that style right away. Look at this. Has the kind of like, helpful style, but I think the lower style is better just because I feel like there's too much personality in the top face, Orange. So glad this didn't happen. So glad that beard did not happen. This is it's perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. Yeah. And perfect again. Absolutely perfect. So we should have looked at it like this as well, but we're okay. Aqua. Why does it call it blue? Aqua. I'm so bad, guys. You know why I'm so bad? Because I just called them by the colors, and then I forgot the name Aqua. I feel like terrible. She's like literally my favorite character. Blue is the because I called blue, and also this. I'm so stupid. Sorry, guys. I just forgot. I completely my mind just melted. I didn't have any trouble drawing her. She's obviously inspired by Toho. By the way, the other day I talked to someone and they didn't know what Toho was, and I was like, bad apple? And they were like, huh? I thought it was a Hatsune Miku thing. That's not even sung by Hatsune Miku. Toho. I think we've... Once again, I'm going to look it up, guys. I think we've done this, we've seen this in Roma Reacts. Toho. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. Then there's Seth. The character Seth was inspired by the character named Seth from Illusion and Gaia. They're both purple and wear glasses, but they don't have any other similarities. Originally, Seth's first concept had white hair and skin that was a bit more lavender in tone. But I showed it to my friends and they said, that's just, from Steven Universe, so I changed it. Okay, so it was kind of a bit similar. Green's appearance is inspired by the art style of my friend Splendid Land, who is a designer, hacker, ambulance, and a couple other great guys. Shouldn't even know about this character until the game came out. That's so funny as well. It was hard to express the joy of expression in such a small sprite. Look at her. Anyway, it was important to have one of the characters be a mouse and make it absurdly obvious how distorted their idea of humanity is. Yeah, and they do not have... They want to be human, but they don't understand like the true, like, I think, strength of being a human. Or not the true strength, but like the idea of what being a human is. 1 second, sorry, what? Oh, different heights as well. Very cool. Yellow. He had 2 designs in the earlier from October 2016. He was had more of a beard and was cool, collected guy. Then I redrew him later in January 2020. He takes some inspiration from Woody from Toy Story. He was foreshadowed a bit in Chapter 3 with some bath curtains. Really? I think that's kind of the full extent of the intentional cowboy foreshadowing I've done in my life. Blue. In the game, he has different hairstyles during his face sprite. I thought it would be fun to provide multiple possibilities for what he looks like. Really, really cool. Other enemy designs. I had 2 guest artists in this chapter design enemies. Nenil actually designed for 4 enemies in this chapter. Shinobeetle, Terracotta, Pot Archer, and the Mantis Dancer. Ultimately, only 2 of them were used in Chapter 5 anyway. I'm sorry, but like, I know you need to use this. This is such a cool design. This is really cool. Really pretty colors as well. And yeah, these guys are kind of iconic. I love what's inside them. That's a really good idea to show that off. Hitoshi Arega. Hiroshi Arega is a Japanese artist who's most well known for drawing the manga Rockman Megamix. I don't know it that well. Designing a number of Pokemon. Oh wow. Including recently beloved Sneasler, Fluttermane. Sneasler's a big design. However, did you know that he also drew the character sprites for the many classic games, including Illusion of Gaia? Anyway, drew a bit of a fox character, and then I made some modifications for the game. That's so great. And again, Sneasel is an iconic Pokemon. It's one of those like newer age iconic Pokemons for sure. It's really cool. By the way, he and his family are immensely awesome and kind people. Oh, that's lovely. Guest musicians. Many people helped out with the music this time. Also, Garden of Hopes and Dreams is Carlos Ain. Hard to believe it. This guy was a kid when he made his first Undertale jazz album. I'm super glad he was able to feature in the game. Raikuchi Buster. Raikuchi originally featured his music in an earlier trailer for Deltarune, but as long as we were featuring a fancy version of Field of Hopes and Dreams, I want to make the battle theme fancy too. And then Cutie Mew Magic, which was amazing. For this song, I arranged a demo of the first dozen seconds and then sent that alongside a few minutes of me playing the piano and singing. I also provided a text description of each part. Camilla did all the actual work behind that. Anyways, the chiptune demo I gave him was originally just the first 6 seconds of this plus melody, and I added some more just now to make it work and the word listening to. So this is the chiptune melody they were sent. Oh man. The music's always so good in Deltarune though, like, so it's not hard to like just be so enamored by this as well. Really cool, really cool. And then Flower Man, which just became very famous very quickly. I actually tried to create the song by myself multiple times. I even tried multiple times to collaborate with different musicians to try to do a live version with vocals, but nothing turned out right with the samples I was using, so I ended up begging Carol to arrange it. Here's the earliest piano version. I don't know, well... We'll let it play out for a bit. 110%. It's the full track here, but yeah, I don't want to like interrupt it. We'll hear like a lot of the nuances in it as well. The energy is so good in this, like, just hearing like an isolated, like, you know, like earliest version of this as well. It's really, really, and this song, as I said, became iconic. People were making covers of this a week after the game release. And of course, it has a lot of emotions in it too, a lot of heavy emotions. And it's so cool, you can see like the direct idea they wanted from the start with this, you know? Oh, it sounds, yeah, again, it sounds so good. Again, it's very like obviously the earliest version, but it sounds so great, like isolated. Yeah, and there's a good energy to it. Even the percussion's really great too. We might as well like play it out to the end now, you know? I was just gonna listen to a little bit of it, but it's like, you know, just chill out here. Let's chill out. That's such a good energy. This battle's really good. This battle's really good. Beautiful stuff here. And again, it goes, as I said, an emotional track as well. Really cool stuff. It's nice to listen to that stuff as well. It is. I think I'm in love / Deltarune logo in Toki Hana. I made an outline of the song. She arranged it and then I mixed it back together with my own instruments. Also for the logo, it was inspired by the Sailor Moon R I catched. Okay, a lot of inspiration here as well, but that's a really good logo as well, honestly. Guest artists also for the creator of Fields and Mr. Oh! Claire drew Pink's talking sprites and basic overworld sprites from Chapter 5. She is a great friend and encouraged me immensely to complete Undertale, so I'm super happy I got to work with her. Again, this is one of the best character designs in the game. We can't zoom in this one. Oh, here we go. It was just loading. Really cool stuff. I love the design there too. Okay, thanks. And then a really interesting concept art here too. Awesome. So, what's next? Chapter 5 really was a fun chapter, and I think it's the last big burst of craziness out of the way. I'm sure everybody is eager for Deltarune to start directly tackling the main mysteries of the game. Me too. Honestly, like, it's one of those things where, like, I could have you do it for 20 more chapters, just do some fun like this, because again, I like, when the chapter ended, I wasn't ready for it to end, so I'm not ready for the whole story to end at all. With Chapter 5, we completed the last of the necessary setup for Chapter 6 and 7. From Chapter 6 onward, there are no more wacky, silly adventures, and you'll begin to see the results of the setup this has made so far. No! Oh no, Chapter 6 is shorter, straightforward chapter to focus on one aspect of the story. Because of that, many things are still not touched on here. In fact, it made me surprised you what was missing, but one thing will be clarified whether you're ready or not. Man, this is like, I don't know, your dad being like, time to grow up and stop believing in fairy tales. it's like, I don't want it to, like, I want the silliness too. But it's about to get very dark, isn't it? Because the story is dark underneath everything. And I think that they ended Chapter 5 with Susie being like, this is getting serious. They made sure to tell you this is getting serious. Some of you may say, wait, you need to make the chapters longer, not shorter. That's extremely reasonable concern, but by the end of Chapter 7, 100% you'll understand why I feel confident about the way I'm telling the story. Don't worry about the pacing until it's over. Here's the thing. I do like longer chapters, but here's my viewpoint, right? Here's my viewpoint. A game is as good as how good it is, not how long it is. Persona 5 Royal is a perfect game to me at 140 hours. Right when I played Persona 5 Royal. Hear me out. Then also, Resident Evil Requiem is an incredible game at 12 hours. Shadow of the Colossus, perfect game at 6 hours. Right? Little Misfortune, perfect game at 3 hours. It's only, again, he's right in saying this. The story, it's about the story and the way you tell it. It's not about the length, it's about the way you use the length and what you have within the length and the pacing you have within the length. I trust Toby 100%. I believe we'll be able to release Chapter 6 in 2027. Okay. Chapter 6 was released by itself in case there are any questions about that. So we're going to get Chapter 7 in 2028? Possibly. I love that he understands that he does have like a very active fandom. So I love that he always like has to explain everything very detailed. And I think it's a good thing. You know, hey, not the good thing that he's a very active, you know, sometimes, you know, wild fandom, but more the case that he's just like, hey, look, just so you're sure, right here and now, Chapter 6 will be by itself away from Chapter 7, right? Recently I finished writing a few more sequences towards the last third of Chapter 6 and rearranged the rooms to fit the new structure. Once we make all these adjustments and tie everything together, we will be able to play a rough draft of the chapter from beginning to end, barring any major restructuring. The main things that will continue to need development time are boss of the chapter and polishing cutscenes. That makes sense. Speculation and theories? That's cool. Another cool artwork. Personally, I really don't read or watch theories. That's because I already know what's in my game. One of the most interesting things I ever heard from a director called Fumito Ueda, who's to me like my favorite video game director of all time is Ueda. And Ueda, when asked about the secrets in his game, you know what he said? What secrets? I know everything. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, someone asked me about secrets, and I'm like, buddy, I know everything. There's no secrets to me. And it was a great way of deflecting the answer so people would still like look for the answers themselves. It's like, hey, what there's no secret. What is a secret to you? It's just what I put in the game. You know? And I love that answer. However, I think it's amazing that people think about the game so much. True. Sorry. It's not an exaggeration to say thinking about this game can just be as much of an experience as playing it. That is true. Anyone who keeps thinking about it, I guess my highest blessing. So imagine what could have happened, and trying to think about the meaning of the game is very cool. People say they enjoy the fact that I don't do this. Like I do speculate on maybe like stories and talk about the story that happens in depth, but people have said they actually do enjoy the fact that like I don't engage in the kind of fandom stuff because it makes it a different playthrough. Again, that's not me saying it. I'm not trying to be like, my playthrough is different. My playthrough is built different. I'm just saying what people say they like about the playthrough, and I always appreciate that as well. Because I always get nervous about that, where I'm like, I'm going into this like with less knowledge than other people and less of an idea of like the story and all this stuff too from theories, and like I haven't spent a year speculating. But I still love the game and love the characters, and people seem to like the playthrough who do like it. I'm not saying everyone does, but people who do like it seem to like it, and I appreciate that. However, I do think it's important to mention sometimes you don't have all the information, or I have different expectations about how certain info will be interpreted or combined. Interesting. Anyway, I think it's good to keep an open mind to what will ultimately happen. I want to say that you guys should keep having as much fun as you can. So this is very good line to draw. You don't have all the information yet. I have a different expectation about info will be interpreted or combined. He's saying that like sometimes you guys get it wrong, and that's fine. You don't have all the information, you don't have all the stuff. And I say this too sometimes. I'm not trying to be like, I say me smart. I'm saying that like, I've said it before too, like a lot of times with the Undertale, and this is my view, the Undertale and Deltarune fandom, sometimes will pass off theory as facts. And I'm not saying that people who have like speculated and been like, here's the information, here's all the evidence. I'm not saying that, but sometimes people will be like, say something like, I'm going to use a wild example. People will be like, you know, Susie's actually like a penguin. And you're like, wait, what? And then it makes me for a second think, have I missed something? And I think to myself, I'm like, I look back on my page, I'm like, is she a penguin? And then someone replies like, that's just a weird theory. And then they go, it's a widely accepted theory. And I think that sometimes the Deltarune Undertale fandom does sometimes, not everyone, there's a portion that has a problem like sometimes separating a accepted, because it's such a community-based game, because there's so much speculating and discussion about it. Once there's like this defining factor of like, oh, this is something we all like, you know, have like kind of widely accepted, some people just see that as a fact. And I'm not saying this is what Toby said, I'm just saying from my experience, what I've seen. Because I think a lot of people, the majority of Deltarune and Undertale fans in my fandom have always, in my comment section, have always been like very fair and understanding of my viewpoint, which is like I don't adhere to theories that often. I just go with what I see in the game, and then like educated, like when I say educated, I mean like researched and like evidence-based like stuff where people are like, oh, well, this happened in this chapter, and I'm like, oh, you're right. That's fine as well. But if it's just kind of a theory that's widely accepted, I don't accept it until I see it on the screen, if that makes sense. But yeah, and I'm not trying to insult the fandom here. I'm just saying that sometimes, every once in a while, at least once per playthrough of a Deltarune Undertale chapter or whatever, I would get someone to say something that confuses me, and then I'll find out it's a theory. And then if you push back, not even push back in an aggressive way, be like, hey, that's just a theory. You'll see them be like, well, actually, it's widely accepted. And it's like, well, that doesn't, everyone has different interpretation stuff. And that's what I'm trying to say. Your interpretations are fine, but theories are theories, right? Evidence-based theories, superb, right? Because it helps me as well. But like, it's obviously like, the way it's expressed. Well, I think it's good to get. There it is. The speculative art, stories, and theories that you will come up with while the game is still ongoing will forever be special, because this is the only time such things can ever be created. That's true. All of you are creating a time capsule unique to this single fleeting moment in time. It's a beautiful way to put it. I think that's something to be incredibly proud of. Isn't it great that you're here right now playing this as it comes out? So again, another beautiful way to put the community. It's like, yes, your theories might be wrong. And I think what he's probably saying here is he's seen a bunch of like very popular theories be like, oh, but he's kind of saying, hey, that's good. It's like, man, you can go back to the time and see where you thought that was going to be true. And I think as well, this is a true thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a lovely thing. It's something to be celebrated rather than like, see it as like, oh, I got this wrong. Because we've seen a lot of times nowadays with fandoms, with different shows and TV shows, when the widely accepted theory is considered to be wrong, they call the show bad, or they say that it didn't live up to our theories. When in reality, like for me, like I think it's like, isn't it fun? And he's right. Toby's right. It's so fun. It's so fun to get a theory wrong. It's so fun. What's Dorona? When I was younger, my older sibling would say stupid anime-style made-up move names and then pretend to attack me. One of them was, it's my Dorona. A couple of other phrases are also referenced like that, including the unused voice clip, Blingo Blizzard. My sibling encouraged me to add it, it's my hummingbird, as another quote of the game, but I haven't done it yet. Will I ever? Please do. That's hilarious. That's so sweet. What's Kiki? Kiki is my cat that won't shut up. She gets incredibly noisy every second you play with her. She watched her room and TV and didn't understand it was her. She's like if a cat's brain was put into a cat's body. The song, the song in the room is the song that I sing for every day because I love her. It's not fan service for you. It's a Kiki service for me. For her, even though she doesn't like it, she's bothering me right now. That's adorable. This is the first good tie-dye shirt I've seen in a long time. This here, I've heard about this, by the way. I heard about this was happening. I want this so badly, this keychain. Fangame released new merchandise for Chapter 5. More items are planned, as well as some items from for previous chapters too, like Queen Plush or something. By the way, I told Fangamer not to expect to make too much merchandise for Chapter 6 and 7. That means that it's going to be so serious. But yeah, I want this Aqua one as well. I desire to enjoy the corn. Happy summer and enjoy the corn. Yeah, that's it for the Delta. This was really fun. This is really great. We got to see a lot of concepts. We got to have like a good understanding of like where they're at. I think Toby did a great job here of tempering expectations and letting people understand exactly where this is going. And I say this because it is important, right? It's important because he has a fandom that is so beautiful, that's so speculative, that understand it as always like, making theories. And it's not just about the theories, to let people know like, hey, Chapter 6 is coming out by itself, right? Hey, all these quirky characters that you're used to, don't get used to that. And I think it sets up expectations. And I think at that stage, it's one of those things where like, when the game does come out and the next chapter comes out, you can critique the game and say, hey, I didn't like that there wasn't a bunch of quirky characters. I didn't like that we didn't have a bunch of like really funny, crazy, kooky guys in this game. I didn't like that we didn't have one central iconic new character like a Flowery. But you can also say, along with those critiques of like, hey, I prefer that, we were warned. We were warned that we're not going to get the usual craziness. Things are about to get serious. And I think this is like almost like coupled with what Susie was saying in a way too. It feels very like in a lot of ways that what Susie said in the chapter of like, hey, things are going to get more serious, like does match here and it works here. We have a situation now where we are, in trouble, right, when it comes to this stuff. And I think that Toby's setting this up and giving expectations of like the next chapter is going to be shorter. The pacing is going to be good, but it's going to be shorter. It's going to be more serious. It's going to come out by itself. And your theories might be not right. I think all in those things, it's like a really good way of like being communicative with the series. Instead of like, being radio silent and then when things change, and then have people be like, oh, this is one that wasn't I expected. It's like he's giving us expectations without spoiling us. Love seeing the concept art. It was so pretty, so lovely. Some of the earlier stuff was like really creative and you could tell where like the idea was going. The characters turned out fantastic in the end also. The music was really cool seeing it also too. Seeing like some of the locations that were painted there from an earlier stage as well is also awesome. Just some really cool stuff that like you wouldn't always get to see with other games and like until like everything's all finished. You can tell there's a lot of passion here for this. You can tell that like there's like a sentimental feeling to this as well, that we're getting closer to the end as well. And that's just like how things are gonna feel, I guess, as well. As for all of us. This is probably by 2028 we will be finishing Deltarune. And who knows where we'll be at that stage, but like, it's going to be a sad time. It's going to be a weird time, but I am very, very excited for to see. I'm very excited to see exactly where this is going to be going. You know what I mean? I trust Toby, and it's not me. I know I said here's every game. Like I just like trust artistic visions. I want people to create something that is true to them. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I like it. Right? And so far, Toby has not led me astray. I've had some really emotional and beautiful times in these chapters and these games. So like I'm 100% on board for whatever is coming our way. I'm 100% on board for the idea of like whatever we're going to experience. And I am also very nervous about whatever dark things are going to be happening in the next part of the game. But that's just kind of the way things go, isn't it? We're going to get to an experience that is much more serious. It's leading to something more serious. We have more people being captured. More people have been, our dad has been kidnapped. There's so much things that are going to happen here. And obviously I want like, Noelle and Susie to be together in the end. Obviously I want everyone to be happy in the end. But you never know where this could be leading. It's had so many themes of the idea that this might not be a happy ending. But we'll see. It might be bitter. I think bittersweet is probably where we're going to put it, right? Bittersweet is where we're going to put it. It's going to be bittersweet, no matter what it is. I think it's leading towards a bittersweet feeling for sure. But a great newsletter, great artwork, great information, giving us all the kind of like insight that he can for like what's coming up as well, and like our expectations in check, showing us like the vision for a lot of the stuff he's created as well, and like where certain terms came from, the idea behind some characters and how they changed, even personality changes like with Yellow. It's a really, really cool thing to see all this stuff. Guys, if you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon for €1 or whatever is in your currency. You can see every single video on the channel early for the entire month that you're pledged on YouTube members or Patreon. If you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that is the Chunky Baby Gangsta tier, and that is €10, and you get your name in every single video in the text credits. And if you want to hear your name be shouted out at the end of every single video, that is the I Can Never Repay the Baby Gangsta tier at €15, and that's the highest tier of my YouTube members and Patreon as well. And I want to say thank you to the patrons first of the highest tier, that being Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Liam, High Kasperian, Neo Showrites, Leo 200, Malcolm Kunde, Axler21, and the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, Lusanagi, and Zay. See you soon. Bye-bye.